Everybody keeps thinking that I'm handling this divorce so well, and I'm not. I'm not okay. Next week would have been our 9-year anniversary. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with myself. I didn't want this. I never wanted this. And it hurts and it sucks and okay.
So this was my first Christmas as a divorced single mom. You want to know how it went? So I worked from 10 p.m. till 10:30 a.m. Christmas Eve into Christmas morning, and I came home and then I went to sleep and I didn't wake up until an hour ago because I had nowhere to be and no one to be with. And all of my friends were spending Christmas with their families, so I slept. I feel like I'm alone in feeling like this, and it really sucked. So I got stood up, and I really just kind of want my kids. If maybe you would bring the kids to come and I can just do it with them instead. One of the hardest things I've had to learn over the last couple months that I've been doing the alphabet dating is that dating as a single mom of 4 in my 30s sucks.
Life changes when the reality of your decisions and their consequences dawns upon you. Just look at these single mothers. I can guarantee that 100% of these would have initiated their divorces over the littlest of issues with their men. And research does say that 70% of divorces are initiated by women. A woman who has 4 kids initiates a divorce? Does she have an idea of what's in store for her after that life-altering decision? I mean, a woman who has 4 children will be 1,000% better off compromising on some issues with her partner rather than being divorced. Because after marriage, it's more important to make decisions that benefit your children than the ones that benefit your ego. And I guess that's the main learning lesson for modern women. No matter where you are, and no matter what age group you belong to, always know that it's not necessary that once you're married happily, it's going to stay like that forever. Women need constant validation, which I personally believe is just a cop-out for not being content with who they are at certain points in their lives, and not truly being in control of their own emotions. Did you know that women leave men 80% of the time? If they're college educated, it's 90%. And one of the #1 predictors of divorce is if the woman out-earns the man. This is the reality, guys. For men, a divorce can mean the end of their lives, their hard-earned income, and their dignity. For women, it's just another way to tell the world how independent they are, and now how cash-rich they've become, probably securing an extra income for the rest of their lives. And to be honest, we all know the legal system is designed to work in favor of women and use men's resources to pay for their financial expenses for the rest of their lives. Women were never aligned with their men in what they wanted to achieve in life, and there have been many cases where women had actually planned to marry wealthy men, only to divorce them and live off of divorce money without having to work for the rest of their lives. Lack of commitment is the most common reason for divorce. Marriage is not always easy, so success requires both spouses to be dedicated to their union and serious about making it last. That's why it is not surprising that a lack of commitment could spell disaster for a couple. In fact, 75% of individuals and couples cited lack of commitment as the reason for their divorce. This was the most common cause of a marriage ending, exceeding even infidelity. 60% of divorced couples cited infidelity as a reason for their divorce. Infidelity is another leading cause of divorce, with 60% of couples citing a partner's unfaithfulness as a reason their union ended. When a marriage is supposed to be monogamous and one party fails to fulfill this obligation, trust can be lost, and the marriage may be irretrievably broken. Women have deceived men into marriage, only to take away their resources. A lot of the credit goes to the men's movement that allowed men to share their experiences and opened each other's eyes regarding the true nature of women. We can say with certainty that no matter what men and women achieve in this world, the basic and undisturbed laws of human nature remain unchanged. There are some things that were meant to be, and no matter how much men and women may try, in the end, the truth can only be what nature intends for men and women, their functions, and the way they live. Statistics, data, and studies are useless to modern women. When you read their online rants about how older gentlemen prefer younger women, or that they'd like to be alone, you might think they're crazy. They feel we are speaking from an ideological standpoint, which is obviously not the case, but they are misinformed. Guys are elementary beings who only seek to be loved, admired, and respected. On the other hand, women constantly expect the very best from every male. Despite all the talk about equality, they don't try to achieve it. An average woman wants a tall, handsome, wealthy, and attractive man. However, she typically fails to work on and improve her inner beauty, her personality, and character. In the end, what is on the inside ultimately manifests on the outside, and 99% of the time, this results in an entitled and ungrateful person who is self-centered and demands that the man grant her every wish for the rest of his life. Interestingly, feminism has strangled women while freeing men. Why? Women are disproportionately represented in undervalued occupations, are familiar with the harsh realities of the job market, and, most importantly, find it dreadful to think of growing old. Even though this last statement is quite telling, the majority of women find it difficult to accept it because of their social conditioning. Schools, the media, and the entertainment sector actively urge women to put off getting married and starting a family, while concurrently encouraging them to pursue other objectives, such as pursuing an education, a career, or even many partners. By the way, the word partners refers to casual flings and one-night stands rather than long-term relationships. Social conditioning is incredibly harmful and potent. Modern women who fall for it will go to any lengths to protect the beliefs they hold dear. In actuality, they simply combine it with the information they've received from institutions, significant figures, and multinational corporations with little regard for the pleasure of women. They're conditioned for instant gratification. They want instant happiness, wealth, fame, luxury, and comfort. They want perfection in men, while they hardly bring anything to the table except perhaps their physical selves. The truth is that far more people get married over the course of each year than get divorced. These divorce statistics show what happens to marriages that end, and when and how couples decide to end them. What about the famous statistic that half of all marriages end in divorce? That's true, but only when it comes to first marriages, half of which are dissolved. Second and third marriages actually fail at a far higher rate. When marriages end, usually some time has passed since the wedding. In fact, the average length of a marriage prior to divorce is 8 years. So, divorces take time. Contested divorces usually take over a year to finalize, although simple ones can be completed in as little as 3 months. Divorce comes at a big cost, with couples spending an average of $7,000 to dissolve their union. Many who divorce don't give up on the institution of marriage, though. A total of 64% of men and 52% of women get married again after their marriage has ended. Divorce can have surprising and long-lasting consequences. One of those consequences is an increased risk of early death. Sadly, the mortality rate is 1,363 per 100,000 for divorcees compared with 779 per 100,000 for married couples. Divorced men bear the brunt of this increased risk, with mortality rates of 1,772 per 100,000 compared to divorced women with mortality rates of 1,095 per 100,000. Decisions about the family home are some of the most contentious when a marriage ends, and a property settlement is determined. This is a common issue that must be resolved, as 53.4% of people divorced in 2022 owned their own homes. Just 46.6% were renters. It's important to note that as marriage goes, so goes the nation. Strong families are the foundation of any society. Hedonism always takes its toll. Women do not mature faster than men, they excel at social dynamics, and social dynamics are heavily rewarded through middle and high school, whereas nothing men excel at is rewarded. Additionally, women learn early that they have something men want, and they learn to manipulate men to take advantage of it. It is predatory, not more mature. Men could be just as predatory as women, but the law and social mores clamp down heavily on men's natural tendencies. If it weren't for misandrous teachers punishing and suppressing boys' natural talents, young boys would not appear so slow to mature. In antiquity, 18-year-old men wrote symphonies, built war machines, and conquered nations. As I said, no matter where you are, and no matter what age group you belong to, always know that it's not necessary that once you're married happily, it's going to stay like that forever. Women need constant validation, which I personally believe is just a cop-out for not being content with who they are at certain points in their lives, and not truly being in control of their own emotions. It feels like society has forgotten the seriousness of marriage, and well, the seriousness of divorce. Women break off partnerships thanks to no-fault divorce and end up living poor, which automatically translates into a sorry upbringing for their children, who then take out their anger on society. It's like a domino effect that doesn't stop. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.